Controlled folly. Hello. It is some time ago that I made a video about there was a clang about that I made a video about Carlos Castaneda's secrets, how to understand his books, and one of them was about the art of stalking. Unfortunately, my microphone broke just before or during that video, so it's very hard to understand that video, but I don't want to delete it either because all of the videos are just what downloads in the moment. I don't script or plan them. So a few times in comments and questions and emails and so on, this controlled folly and art of stalking cropped up. Not that people directly asked about that, but that is the answer. So many people say it's so hard since waking up happened to me. I don't know what to do with myself and with others. Communication gets harder. What now? Yeah. And the answer, Carlos Castaneda's or Don Juan's answer was controlled folly. Controlled folly is the centerpiece of the art of stalking. The art of stalking is acting, conscious acting. You act as if you were still a normal being. Recently, Jed McKenna wrote that we're all living in a madhouse. And the maddest of all are those who want to escape the madness towards sanity, which is us. So how to get out of the madhouse? First, don't be too conspicuous. Don't make a big fuss about waking up. Don't draw the attention of the other mad people or the warden or the nurses and so on. Pretend that you're a normal being, normal human being. That's the art of stalking. But then the crux is the controlled folly. Pretend that you care. Because what often happens when awakening or enlightenment happens, you stop caring, not because of a lack of empathy, but because of a lack of artificiality. You're not artificial anymore. You're not bound to norms and rules anymore internally. You're not bound to all these enculturations and weird customs and so on. More and more you're free of all this baggage and programming and brainwashing. So then most of the stuff that people are doing all the time seems totally worthless, pointless, aimless, useless. So then what? Then what are you supposed to do? Just go on. Continue with your job or another job, being a carpenter or a doctor or a bank clerk, whatever you work as, doesn't matter. Just continue, pretend to be a normal human being and pretend to care, especially in relationships, be it friendships or love relationships or towards your children or parents or whatever. If you don't feel any caring because the artificial and unhealthy connection is gone, this force, this coercion, this must do, one must do this or must do that to be a nice girl or good boy. If that is gone, there's no impetus anymore to do the crazy things people do. Do them anyway. That's controlled folly. Pretend to care, pretend to enjoy, pretend to laugh, pretend to cry. Why? You'll see when you do it. Of course, this should not be a dishonesty. I will make another video soon about radical honesty. That's another really good tool. You can be honest and not care and still be polite and still do the controlled folly and art of stalking. For example, if someone asks you if you have taken a certain medication recently, you can just say no comment. I don't want to talk about it anymore. So you don't commit to something. It's not a lie because you really don't want to talk about it, and you really don't want to comment, and you don't have to tell everyone everything. Your immediate loved ones, your husband or your wife, for example, that's good if you tell her or him everything, if possible. But if just someone asks something, they don't have any right to know everything about you. So you can just be honest without having to invent a story. I'm not asking you here to invent lies. That is not helpful. It's not necessary to invent more stories or even lies. It's still possible to be honest and to do the controlled folly at the same time. Because there is still a part of you that feels empathy and caring and so on. It's not at the forefront anymore, and it is not linked to unhealthy stuff like codependency and so on, helper syndrome. So it's less strong, and it's less automatic, and it's less of an addiction or brainwashing or program. So you can still let the program do things in a weaker, healthier way without getting identified with it. The thing is not to get identified. You can do it anyway. You can watch yourself doing things the way you used to do, or people are supposed to do it, the way you learned it, without being identified. And that's controlled folly. The folly is that you do it although you know it's a game. You don't take it seriously. You know it's a theater play, you know it's a movie, you know it's the Matrix. But towards others you pretend that it's real, while knowing internally that it's not real, but you don't have to tell that to everyone. It just confuses them. It's not helpful to others to go around. You're not a messiah whose job is it to make them change their ways and views and religion and so on. You're not Jesus. Don't do it. It's not your job to help everyone if they want it or not. If someone asks you for help, you can say, okay, but if you really truly want my opinion on that, be forewarned that it's very straightforward. I won't beat around the bush. And then they still want your opinion on it, you can give it. But otherwise, stop giving your awakened or whatever view on everything to people who don't want to hear it and who can't hear it. It only creates problems. And to avoid these unnecessary problems, do the art of stalking. Pretend that you're still normal. Go on with your day-to-day stuff. And do the controlled folly thing. For example, if you read Carlos Castaneda, for example, The Separate Reality or The Journey to Ishtlan, they laugh a lot. Why do they laugh a lot? To get rid of this tension. Tension can build up in situations where others are totally identified with one thing and you are not. And you feel that they expect you to participate in the game, to be also identified and really worried, for example. So, okay, do them the courtesy and pretend that you're worried also. But don't buy into that field. There's this practice, this energetical healing practice of aura surgery, where you talk about fields. Don't buy into other fields and become part of their field. And at the same time, pretend to understand what they're talking about. So it's a practice. It's a practice that can be very handy and helpful, so that you don't get sucked into this brainwashing madhouse again and again and again. Observe it, okay, that's their field of their brainwashing. Then do your controlled folly, while all the time knowing, no, that's not it. Neti. That's not it. The other people's programming is not it. Your programming is not it, which will come up again and again. Just don't take it seriously. So you will become a bit of a fool in your own eyes. In the other people's eyes, you will become normal again. And they will be very happy about it, because that's how they know you. In your own eyes, you will be a fool, pretending stuff all the time. That's the folly part. And controlled it is because you're doing it purposefully and with awareness, with a certain goal in mind. The goal being is that you don't lose energy in interaction with other people, and that you're not suspicious. You don't have to broadcast all the time that you're different somehow. Don't do it. A long time ago, I made a video called Shut Up. Shut up about it. Find some people with whom you can exchange totally openly and honestly, and with the others, do the controlled folly thing. Be an actor. We have all been brought up to be actors. We've been acting all the time, and we have multiple personalities. So you can do it. It's not a problem of being able to do it. It's just do it on purpose, rather than being sucked into these roles that you have been taught to represent by the society and culture and parents you grew up in. Okay, that's it about The Art of Stalking, Carlos Castaneda, and Controlled Folly on the Spiritual Path. Thank you. Bye.